So it's really funny because I've talked about this before, and it's like as if magic. We see the difference in how Microsoft are doing things for Xbox versus Nintendo and versus PlayStation. So, many of you guys have seen this, and like Microsoft is doing these advertisements that they don't really make much sense, to be honest with you. It's sort of weird to me because I'm surprised at how little sense it actually makes to do these, like the whole Xboxer thing, which everybody's kind of having a good laugh at that stuff, especially like I am too, right? Like I'm an Xbox fan, but it's funny, you're an Xboxer if you used to be an Xbox fan, because there is not going to be any more Xbox. But then they did this Game Pass advertisement, and it's so like weird the way they've handled it. And then PlayStation also does this thing where they're like, buy a PlayStation because you're going to miss out on all these epic things if you don't. Now, PlayStation does the same things that Microsoft does. They've got games on PC, they've got a cloud situation, but yet they still advertise their console, right? And they're like, you don't want to miss playing on our console. It's got all these great moments and things like that. Nintendo, the same thing. They're like, hey, Nintendo, we're the bee's knees, whatever the case may be, right? So that's the interesting part, as far as I can tell, right? And then you see this thing. It's so interesting. So Microsoft's been doing some marketing, something gaming division has been accused of barely doing lately, obviously. Like a lot of people realize that, Microsoft does a pretty piss poor job at actually going out there and, marketing their games and things like that, and nobody can argue with that, right? Like whatever the case may be, they think, okay, like here's the thing that I would say about the marketing. What's the point in having a console and making games if you're not allowed to market the games, right? Like that doesn't really make a whole heck of a lot of sense to me. But Microsoft, carries on with it anyway, whatever the case may be. So yeah, I find that to be like a super interesting type situation where Microsoft has kind of found themselves right now. Hopefully, I don't know, like does it even do any good at this point, right? Like they've had Game Pass for years and they've not decided to market it for some reason. Like I don't understand that thought process. Like you have Game Pass, people thought of it as like this huge value in gaming, but you never marketed it ever. So yeah, it is hard to kind of disagree with that kind of statement. But it's interesting. So it released a really bad advert for Game Pass. Initially, this guy thought it was odd, but okay. Centered on a comparison between renting games from a store in the past and having access to games on Game Pass today. But the more he watched, the more he found it very fabric of reality slipping away. The ad playing before his eyes, hovering in the center of a pitch black room, unable to figure out what any of it was for. The concepts are strung together in a way that made his brain assume everything was fine, but as it played and played over and over, it was like a weird sentence, which begs the question, what is this new Game Pass advert trying to say? Walking through it, a sad man appears in a darkened room surrounded by boxes of physical Xbox 360 games. He's hot, tired, perhaps starving even. You might assume he's eager for food and water, but no. Cut to the view out of a slot in a darkened room, and someone is posting an Xbox 360 game into the small room. It's Gears of War, and one man inside the video store returns the box. The man grabs the box as someone's lost in the wilderness might if he was presented with a sandwich. He shakes it, kisses it, and then it says, "That was then," pops up onto the screen before we cut to a glossy look at a modern gaming setup. He says he's all for absurdity. Some of his favorite entertainment leans into that. But, again, it doesn't make any sense. If a man is starved of new games, why is the returns box stacked with games? There's loads in there, but he acts as if the delivery of Gears of War is the first he's seen in weeks. He said he worked at a video rental store and they'd empty out returns multiple times each shift. By that metric, assuming this view of the return boxes between empties, the guy would be expecting over 100 games returned per day. So again, not even like the most egregious issue with the ad. I had given a pass on first view, and like I said, the more I watched, the more it didn't work on any level. The man is past isn't even a consumer in this ad, so what's comparison going to be made when we switch to the modern day? In the past, this guy didn't even think enough video games would return to the video store. It worked out. So it's weird the way that they've kind of handled this. You look at Game Pass as a rental service, which is what I've always called it, which I'm sure why this ad came from to exist in the first place. But the comparison falls short when you think about it for more than 5 seconds. In the old days, you could pretty much rent any new release you wanted. Sure, sometimes they were out of stock, but it was possible. Again, and this is a thing that I said, like GameFly still exists and is half the price of a Game Pass, and you can get 2 games out at a time if you want. And they have all the newest releases for all the consoles. So I don't know, it's kind of weird to me anyway. And again, don't get me started on the way we've lost the ability to kind of visit game stores. Like, I know some people like don't understand that or whatever, depending on when you were born. But for me, the ability to visit a game store was amazing. And it was like something you really looked forward to. It was something like the family could do together. And, it was just a fun time. And now it's like, you everything has to be easier and lazier. And so that's, in my opinion, a big problem going on in the world right now. Everybody's like, some people will argue with me in the comments or whatever that, well, physical, you don't own it anyway, blah, blah, blah. They're just so eager to give up their rights to things and their ownership to things. And I always find that to be a little bit crazy. There's nothing wrong with you if you want to own a physical game. Nobody's going to come take your physical game. By the way, folks, those that say, oh, well, they don't even have the game on the disc, majority of them do, right? You can follow this team on Twitter /X called Does It Play, and they pretty much check every game and let you know if a game is playable without internet connection. They check them all. There's some, especially on the Microsoft side, that have no data on there, especially ones that they put out or make or whatever, but the majority of the ones in general have the game on the disc, which is like super important. So anyway, keep fighting for that stuff. Like, I'm the type of person, I've got my Blu-rays, my 4K Blu-rays, my DVDs. I collect vinyl still because you have something tangible. Stuff plays better, it looks better. It's like always blows my mind when people are like surprised, like, you pop in something 4K Star Wars or whatever, and people are like, wow, this looks incredible. I streamed it in 4K. Well, streaming compresses everything. It doesn't sound as good. It doesn't look as good. Things aren't as bright. It's just how it is. Gaming is the same way. When it comes down to it. So Microsoft has these horrible advertising campaigns. I'm not sure what they're trying. I mean, I get it. Like, they're trying to say you used to rent games like this, drop it off, blah blah blah. Now you don't have to do that. But here's the thing, and this guy nails it right here. He says, I know it's only an advertisement, but it reflects Xbox's muddled view of gaming today. For one, gamers are, if anything, more nostalgic for the blockbuster days than ever. Game Pass might be more convenient for most people than driving to the store and spending 20 minutes browsing shelves than being told by your mom that you can't rent RoboCop vs. Terminator. But the vibes here could have been completely different and still made Game Pass come out on top. Not that there is a battle, given rental stores are long gone and brick and mortar stores in general are dying at an alarming rate. Game Pass could be sold as today's rental store, but not like this. This ad, and you could probably extend this to Xbox as a whole, depending on how unkind you're feeling, is like one of those children's books that lets you flip pictures to put the head of a badger on the body of a cat and then chuck some running shoes on and a pirate hat for good measure. It's a mess and struggles to have a clear identity. So, again, we're in this weird situation where, we're living in this world that is just changing beyond scope. And, again, I miss things like this. It's unfortunate, that Microsoft can't get, like, I don't understand how the advertising is so bad, right? Like, how can it be so bad? It's not, like, just look at what the competition is doing, right? Like, just follow the leader, kind of. It just blows my mind that how bad this stuff can be and how bad it looks to, to the average fan compared to what everybody else is doing. Because again, it is such a weird situation that we find ourselves in, where Microsoft kind of has nothing really going for themselves right now, right? It's like people want to act like they've got all this good stuff going for themselves, but they don't. I mean, they're really killing their brand a little bit more and more each single day. So, it is an unfortunate situation that we find ourselves in. And, I'm not sure there's a way out for Microsoft other than just going full board as a publisher. I mean, that might be their only way out, you know, in the future or whatever. So we'll see. You know, we'll see how that goes. But, you know, Microsoft, I think, can do better. The advertising, just, you know, you have 25 years almost of Xbox nostalgia built up. Play on that a little bit. Like, you know, there's some people that really like Xbox. Play on the actual Xbox console a bit, instead of all these weird, like, avant-garde things that don't make sense to most people. So, anyway, I'll link this. You guys can check it out. Let me know what you think. Rack 'em up. Crap Gamer out.